Hey folks, sad day today. My favorite plane crashed. I was coming in for a landing, dropped the flaps, it just basically went belly up on its back and smacked into the ground at about 30, 40 miles an hour. And as you can see in the picture, there's not much left of it. Anyhow, everybody at the club said, "Oh man, that's a total plane." I said, maybe, maybe not. So, with that challenge, I decided to see if I could fix it. This is a composite plane. It's one of mine designs from about 5 years ago. It's my best Sunday flyer. Performs great. Love it. I use it to warm up before I fly my jets. Anyhow, come on with the journey and let's see if we can fix this sucker. Seeing the plane was split in half at the back, the first thing I did was to use CA and put the pieces together the best I could, line them up, and just spot glued them on the outside. And then I moved forward bit by bit, putting each piece together like a jigsaw puzzle. And again, using CA, I just spot glued them and pretty much got the assembly as you can see in the video. Uh, then it was a matter of, okay, what's next? So I decided to tape the fuselage together, and this would hold it in position so that I could move on to the next one. With the fuselage all taped together, as you can see in the vid, I then rough sanded all the internal sides of it where all the damage had occurred, and just did this with some 80 grit to really roughen up the fiberglass on the inside, and got it prepped ready to fiberglass cloth and some resin. So with the resin all mixed up and ready to go, I cut the cloth into the parts I needed, the sizes, and then just began to lay it in. I'm using a 6 ounce cloth with which the fuselage was originally made up of. I normally lay my fuses up with first 2 ounce and then a layer of a 6 ounce to finish it. That gives me plenty of strength and rigidity, and keeps it quite light because I overlap the cloth. So it creates like a rib type effect without adding a lot of weight. So now I'm just applying the resin, getting it soaked in there. The inside's all roughed out. I've put the tape across all of the joints, and the reason why is if I don't, then the resin will bleed through any of the little airline gaps, cracks and so forth, and will make one hell of a bloody mess of the fuselage. So putting the tape on seals it, seals the crack, and when the epoxy is cured the next day, the tape just simply comes off. It does not stick to the epoxy. Now it's a day later. I've removed the tape, and as you can see, the cracks are all sealed. There's no epoxy bleed through anywhere. The internals have a nice layer of epoxy and glass, and I've doubled it up in a couple of places where it's really badly damaged, just to make sure I've got lots of strength. So here we are, we're now putting the finish surface putty on. I have about 5 hours into this repair so far. Before I put the red finishing putty on, as you can see, I did use a 2K surfacing putty also, which filled the majority of the gaps after a good sanding. And then the putty goes on, I'll sand that off, and then we'll look at priming it and painting it. All's going good. I'm really happy with it all. It's very straight and strong, and couldn't be happier. And now I have some high build primer on. It's actually a couple of coats. I probably have about 3 or 4 coats actually, because I've been sanding and priming in between. And this is pretty much, I believe, the end of the priming, and she's just curing off and going to be ready for paint. The hinges are broken, both the right flap and the right aileron, and they were put on with I believe it's robot pin hinges. I think these were the 1/8 ones. So I'm going to show you how to remove them without buggering everything up. So here we are. So I made this little tool up. It's just a little bit of brass tubing. I just filed a few serrated edges on it. I don't know whether you can see that very good, but creates like a little bit of a drill bit. And the tubing inside diameter is just bigger than the biggest part of the hinge, or the hinge swivel point where the pin goes in. So this allows me to drill in to the wing. Then I'll use some expanding foam to replace them. So this is how I do it. So these are buried deep inside. They're broken. Put it into the vise, tighten it up so it's not moving on me that much, and just center it over. Slowly get position and drill. Oh, and that one went all the way in, which we'll pull out though. There's the number 2 one. And what I did is I set this depth so it wouldn't come through the narrow part of the flap in this case. And then it comes out, as you can see. It's sitting there. Just reverse it and pull it out. There's your hinge, all out. So now we have a hole where the hinge has been pulled and they're somewhat oversized. So I did the kind of reverse this time. What I did is I cut another piece of brass tubing with serrations, which is the inside diameter of this brass tube is exactly the outside diameter of the hinge we've just cut out, the hole. And I've created these little balsa plugs that I've just simply glued in, and they're ready to have new hinges re-drilled into them. Now that I have all my plugs made up with the balsa, I just using a bit of foam glue and hit it with a little water, or in this case I guess I just put it straight in, and it works great. So then I'll just trim these off flush with the leading edge of the control surface, re-drill the 1/8 hole for the pin hinges, and Bob's your uncle. We'll be well on our way. Now I need to address the big dents which were in each wingtip. So what I did is I simply cut out the big dents, glued in some blocks of foam, and I'm just going to let them cure. Then I'll send them to shape, and then we'll begin to glass them. Okay guys, so this wing's done at this end. Just need to get the glass on. This has been repaired. I just epoxied all this stuff, regular 5-minute epoxy, got them all back into position. Need to send all this through here. Then we'll glass here with some heavy cloth like this stuff here, 12 ounce, and that'll wrap around here. Don't care if it looks a bit ugly, just need it to be strong. This one is all done now. So again, it just needs to be glassed. Servo needs to be put back in. Will be all good. The hinges have been redone, cut, and they were just plugged with that method I showed you. This is the aileron, quickly fixed up. Just need to glue all these guys together and slap a bit of paint on, and that wing is good. And there she is with the wings on. So all we have to do now is glass those foam bits at the tips, pop the flap and the aileron on that right side, and a little bit of glass in, a little bit of filler, a little bit of paint, and she'll look okay. But you know what? It will fly again. So there she is. That's how you fix a plane in a couple of days that everybody said was a total write-off. I will have a small follow-up video showing the actual finished plane. I'll also show it flying on its remaiden, I guess. And I just want to thank you all for watching, and for those who've subscribed, hey, big thumbs up. It's really helping the channel. And if you want notifications, just hit those little notification icons and you'll get notified of any of the new videos coming. We'll be back on the Tucano. I've got a really good bunch of videos on how to do the scale details, rivets, screws, panel lines, etc. It's taken a while because the paint has to cure. Coming back soon. Bye bye.